Hello everyone, magandang araw po sa ating lahat. This is an overview of what we call the Foursquare Champ. And as we start, I would like to show you some familiar pictures. Ang una po ay ito. Yan. Familiar po ba ang mga laman, yung mga tinitinda dyan, yung mga drinks, yung mga chichirya? Or pag hindi pa familiar po yung store na yan ay probably yung kanyang kulay sa labas ay familiar sa inyo. O kaya yung kanyang logo. Okay po ba? And there's another picture na sa kagaya ko po ay dyan po lumaki yung ating mga anak. Yan po ang isang fast food chain. Yan po. And then yung kanilang product po ay yan, yung mga pagkain. And both yung mga stores na yan ay familiar po sa lahat ng Filipino, karamihan sa Filipino. And pag tinanong mo kung ano yon, ay they can describe according to siguro sa kanilang memory or experience or dahil nakapasok na po sila doon. At ito po yung napakaganda na kapag sinabi mong ano ba yung store na yan, ay people can make a description about sa kanilang experience sa product o yung signage mismo. At ito po yung katanungan din sa atin, ano po ba ang isang Foursquare Church? What is a Foursquare Church? And to some of us, sa mga leaders, tanong ko po ito ay, ano po ba ang isang Foursquare Church? Sa isang member ng isang church, pag tinanong mo po, what is a Foursquare Church? Ano po ba kaya ang kanyang pwedeng sabihin? Probably pag sinabing ano ang Foursquare Church, ang nasa isip ay yung Foursquare logo. Yung apat na squares, and that is the Foursquare Gospel. But what is a Foursquare Church? Pag sinabi po bang what is a Foursquare Church, ang nasa isip po ba ninyo, mga leaders, o yung inyong mga members sa church ay building, church building, na may logo ng Foursquare. Or some of you would describe a Foursquare Church according to the experience ng isang pumasok sa isang Foursquare Church. So lahat po ito ay katanungan, ano po ba talaga ang isang Foursquare Church? Pag sinabi mo bang ang Foursquare Church ay, ang description mo ba ay building? Yung mga tao sa loob ng isang Foursquare Church? Yung signage po ba? Yung logo natin? Yung mga workers ng isang Foursquare Church? And all those experiences. So the question is, ano po ba talaga ang isang Foursquare Church? Yan po ang kabuuan na pwedeng masagot ng ating pag-usapan ngayon, yung Foursquare Champ. Ano po ba ang Foursquare Champ? Pag sinabi pong Foursquare Champ, may acronym po yung CHAMP. That is what we call the Church Health and Management Program of the Church of the Foursquare Gospel in the Philippines, Postmodern. At naniniwala po ako dito sa statement na ito. Sabi niya, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. Pagka lagi mong ginagawa ang bagay na iyong ginagawa, expect na kung ano nakuha mo in the past, yun pa rin ang makukuha mo. And siguro most of you, mga leaders natin, supervisors and superintendents, are familiar dito rin po sa curve ng yung life cycle ng isang church, yung natural church life cycle. And as we can see dyan po sa graph, sa figure na yan, ay we understand na pag nag-start ang isang church, ay talagang lalago po siya. But somewhere doon sa kanyang life ng isang church, ay pag na-reach na po niya yung kanyang maximum growth, ay mag-start na po siyang mag-decline. At ganyan po ang picture ng isang church. We do not expect na mag-grow lagi, but there will be a time when a church will decline at magiging matatanda siya, and definitely pag hindi na-address po ay it could be na mag-stagnate o kaya mamamatay ang isang church. To look at this curve in a more parang specific and detailed way, ay andyan po yung isang figure about the life cycle in a congregation or in a church na nag-start po sa isang vision. At kapag mayroon pong vision, mayroon kang preferred future, gusto kang mong tignan, then you start a church or a congregation. And then po, doon po sa vision ay pag nag-start na pong mag-grow ang isang church sa kanyang infancy period. And then maglalago po dyan, magiging yung dyan po sa curve na yan ay what we call yung stage ng pagiging child, ay magkakaroon po ng relationship. So titignan po ninyo yung elements ng isang curve na yan, yung vision, yung relationship, yung programs and management. At kapag lumago po yung isang church, hindi na lang po vision ang ni-develop, mayroon na pong relationship, mayroon na pong magsusupport ng mga tao doon sa vision. And then later on, because we have relationship, marami na pong tao sa loob ng congregation sa church, then we start to make programs. However, kapag vision and relationship and programs, magiging magulo po at wala sa ayos ang isang church, kaya kailangan natin ng management. And when we have these four elements, yung vision, yung relationship, yung programs and management, marireach po niya yung maximum po na maturity ng isang church. However, if these elements ay may mawawala po, definitely, mag-start din pong babagsak yung health ng isang church and definitely mamamatay po yung church. Pag wala na pong vision ng isang church, pag relationship na lang, kapag programs na lang and management, mag-start na pong bababa ang growth ng isang church. Magdi-decline na po. Sabi nga natin, when we stop to grow, we start to decay. So ang church will start to die pag wala na pong vision. At pag wala na pong vision, mawawala na po yung catalyst nung tao na nagbabind sa tao, mga members ng church, at mawawala na po yung relationship. Kaya po, susunod na mawawala pag hindi natin naagapan, ang vision pag nawala, relationship ay mawawala rin susunod. At dyan po mag-i-start na mayroon na pong mga grupo-grupo sa church, may programs and management, pero kanya-kanya na po, hiwa-hiwalay na po, may tinatawag na po tayong tribalism, and everybody wants to accomplish what they want to do, and wala na pong iisang direction. At kapag napabayaan po yun, wala nang vision, wala nang relationship, then definitely programs will die at ang mayroon na lang ay may ma-manage na lang yung church, parang nami-maintain na lang hanggang it will decline. At we are now introducing yung Foursquare Champ. When this Foursquare Champ was in the process ng study, ng research, ang nangyari po dito sa Foursquare Champ na ito ay we start to study and reconsider models of healthy church. May mga church fathers po, may mga authors po ng study about the health ng isang church. So we studied 9 different models of a healthy church. And then we also have included yung to study, hindi na lang po yung models of a healthy church na study, but we integrated that doon po sa function ng isang church. And when we started to integrate yung function ng isang church with the models of a growing church, we also included yung ating Foursquare organization so that we call this our Church Health and Management Program of the Church of the Foursquare Gospel in the Philippines. So we consider that, pinag-aralan po natin yung 9 models of church growth, and then of a healthy church, and then nilagay po natin yung function ng isang church, ano po ba ang gawain ng isang church. And then tinignan po natin ang ating mission as an organization, yung vision natin, yung mission, yung values po natin, yung ating mga core programs. Kasali na po dyan ang ating bylaws and polity and even yung mga policies po and practices po natin sa organization. And ang goal po ng study na ito is for us to determine yung management principles and vital church functions that should be adopted by our organization, the Foursquare Church in the Philippines, in the postmodern times to foster church health. In this study, we define a healthy Foursquare Church, and in this study also, we were able to identify yung characteristics of a healthy Foursquare Church. We also highlights yung management principles that are practiced sa Foursquare churches in the Philippines and other areas na doon sa study, nakita natin yung relationship ng functions ng isang Foursquare Church with that of yung kanyang health. We also have studied yung correlation between the practice of church management and church health. And we will also identify yung correlation between yung church health together with yung size ng church, yung membership size, yung age ng church. Mayroon po siyang effect doon sa health ng isang Foursquare Church. So itong church health and management program will answer yung question, what is a Foursquare Church? Actually, in a more specific na question to answer, what is a healthy Foursquare Church? Ayaw lang natin po na makita ang isang Foursquare Church, but we want to define our church to be healthy. And itong church health and management program was able to identify 10 benchmarks of a healthy Foursquare Church. 10 standards. Ito ang nakikita natin sa isang healthy Foursquare Church. Ang isang healthy Foursquare Church ay vision, mission-driven, empowering leadership culture. Ang pangatlong benchmark is passionate community of believers, stewardship and generosity, relevant Christianity, dynamic evangelism, intentional discipleship, active social engagement, Foursquare family relationship, and yung pang-sampu po na benchmark of a healthy Foursquare Church is vibrant worship. And we want to see the result of this study. Kaya po, kailangan po natin na makita rin yung health ng ating mga local church through this research. We want to have a survey para po makita natin, ma-diagnose natin yung ating mga local church, Foursquare Church, pag sila po ba ay healthy. We want to honestly know our health. Ayaw nating itago yung ating karamdaman kung mayroon man, at ayaw din natin masabing may karamdaman kung healthy naman ang isang church. And we are focusing on a local Foursquare Church, and ang lahat po ng local church ng Foursquare will become tributary sa kabuuan na health ng ating organization. So, during yung research po ay nagkaroon po tayo ng research survey sa 214 churches na respondents, at andito po yung sample na result ng isang health ng isang church. And kabuuan po nung ginawa po natin ng summary to see the health of our organization, ito po yung lumabas na ang grade sana, point na pinakamataas is 5, ang lowest is 1, at ang lumabas po na lowest is 4.2, and ang highest po is 4.66. Nagsasabi po na ito po yung picture natin sa ating organization na mataas po tayo sa vibrant worship, pero ang mababa po sa atin is yung active social engagement or active community engagement. Ayon din po sa ating survey ay nagkaroon ng comparison between yung age ng church. At makikita po ninyo kabuuan sa Foursquare churches ng ating sa Philippines ay hindi po nangangahulugan na matagal na po yung church, ay healthy po siya. Kung titignan po natin, yung 71 years old na church and above, they got yung pinakamababang rate ng practice of church management and practice of vital church function. The same with the survey result, nung kinumpara po natin ang membership ng isang church, makita din po natin na yung 501 and above na members ay yung kanilang rating is lower than the other churches na may mas mababang number of members in the church. Nangangahulugan po na ang bawat church ay kailangang ma-diagnose natin dahil hindi po ito ay matagal na church at marami po siyang member, ay ibig pong sabihin ay healthy na po sa lahat ng benchmark or standard ng isang Foursquare Church. Kaya po tinatawag nating church health and Management Program of the Church of the Foursquare Gospel in the Philippines. Postmodern. So ano po itong Foursquare Champ? Ano po itong Foursquare Champ? Itong Foursquare Champ or Church Health and Management Program of CFGPI Postmodern allows us to define who we are. Allows us to define who we are as a local church, and then i-summarize natin yung local churches sa isang division. That is the picture of description of the division. And lahat po ng division, result po ng ating analysis sa kanilang health, that will translate to the health ng ating district. And when we add all, lahat po ng result, analysis sa bawat district, and we put them together, that is the picture and definition, or yan po yung katotohanan na health ng ating organization sa Philippines as a Foursquare organization. It also gives us the opportunity to contribute. Bawat local church will contribute sa isang unified growth ng ating organization. And we believe na sa bawat district, dahil yan, ang district is composed of many churches, then district now will contribute to the overall na health and growth ng ating organization. Ang Foursquare Champ also allows us to develop contextualized plans without the fear of getting out of the bounds of the Foursquare movement. It also addresses the 4 areas of church growth. Alam naman po natin na when we say growth ay hindi na lang numerical, kundi conceptual, organic, and incarnational. And I believe your supervisor will explain the detail of these 4 areas of growth later on in your meetings. So ano po ang process na gagawin natin sa Foursquare Champ? Number 1, mayroon po tayong diagnostic test or gagawa po tayo ng diagnosis, and it will be in the form of electronic survey using yung Google form. At sino po ang participants dito po sa survey, sa diagnostic test? Lahat po ng local churches of Foursquare sa Philippines ay masosurvey po yan. Paano po mangyari yon? Lahat po ng local churches will undergo a survey, diagnostic survey. At ang survey po yan, ang participants sa isang church should be at least 30% of the local church membership. The more, kung mas marami kaysa 30% sa actual local church membership, the better po. Pero at least 30% of the church membership sa isang local church. And then once po na nasagot po ninyo yung survey sa Google form, once na na-click po ninyo yung submit, babalik po sa atin, and then I will be making a summary doon po sa survey. So bawat church po ay mayroong summary and mayroong pong diagram and chart that will tell kung ano yung health ng inyong church. Saan po siya malakas and ano po yung lowest na rate doon po sa 10 benchmark of a healthy Foursquare church. And then we will make a summary sa local church, and then we will also make a summary sa division, and then we will also make a summary sa ating district. And then after ito pong magagawa po ito, ibabalik ko po sa district office po ninyo yung result and evaluation ng kabuuan na result. And then we will be making a meeting and consultation meeting, collaboration with your district para po makita natin kung ano ang recommendation at paano po natin maipipresent sa ating division at sa ating local churches in a pleasant way, na hindi po siya fault-finding, pero ipapakita po natin yung katotohanan na nangyayari sa bawat local church, and makikita po natin paano po natin ipipresent itong result in a constructive way so that we can work together para pag-aralan natin kung ano ang dapat na recommendation para maging healthy po ang lahat ng ating churches in our division and in our district. And makaka-design po tayo ng mga intervention programs, makakagawa po tayo ng isang pamamaraan kung paano natin magagawa ng paraan yung isang local church na mayroon pong mababang rating sa specific na benchmark. At dyan po madidevelop ang mentoring and coaching process ng supervisor together with the superintendents kung paano po natin matutulungan in a collaborative way yung ating mga local churches kung paano sila mag-grow at tataas po yung kanilang rating. Again, ito po yung ating Foursquare Champ, which I believe I also have given some materials sa inyong supervisor na ibibigay po niya yung more on the details of it. But to sum it up, ito po yung benchmark of a healthy Foursquare church. Yung category 1 po, yung 5 po are the practices of church management, yung vision and mission driven, empowering leadership culture, passionate community of believers, stewardship and generosity, relevant Christianity, and sa category 2 po ay practice of vital church functions, dynamic evangelism, intentional discipleship, active social engagement, Foursquare family relationship, and vibrant worship. Kami po ay excited. Ang ating organization po, ang leadership po ay very much excited and we are looking forward sa isang napakagandang result ng ating survey, ang napakaganda po na process ng ating intervention, yung ating mga application ng ating recommendation, at yung pong dynamics ng mentoring and coaching ng ating mga leaders. Kayong mga leaders po sa inyong mga local churches. So, kung mayroon po kayong katanungan about the details of this, your supervisor, district supervisor is there with you to explain yung kung ano man yung kakulangan ng primer na ito or overall na discussion about the Foursquare Champ or the Church Health and Management Program. We are looking forward na usap po tayo sa inyong district para makita po natin kung paano natin masolusyonan ang mga areas where your local church, our local churches sa CFGPI ay kailangan nating mapataas yung kanilang rate. So we praise God for your support. We praise God sa unified na effort po natin na ito, and we are looking forward that the Lord will bless itong ating project na ito so that sa pamamaraan na ito ay makikita po natin, mamumonitor po natin, mababantayan po natin, at mapapalago po natin ng mas unified ang ating mga local churches. And then when somebody will ask you, what is a Foursquare church? What is a healthy Foursquare church? Then we can now identify na ang Foursquare church pala is measured by this 10 benchmark of a healthy Foursquare church. May the Lord prosper you, pagpalain po ng Panginoon ang inyong district, ang inyong leadership, at lahat po ng inyong churches that is situated at that is under yung inyong specific na district. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat.